friends, let's start.
Okay, so I guess we can start. There are some people here, so let's make the best of this 1 hour. Hi everyone, I'm Hira. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Plurality Network. My background is from technology. I've been a technologist for more than 10 years now. I've also worked in Deutsche Telekom as a senior technical architect for some time now, and I also have this startup on the side that I'm doing that's called Plurality Network. And today, I just want to kind of teach you guys how to talk to AI better. So let's get into it. What we're going to cover today is essentially the basics of prompt and context engineering. What prompt engineering actually is, why do we need it, what context engineering is, and then we are going to put all of it together through some practical exercises. So I'm going to show you some demos. Maybe you can follow along if you want, or you can just see it on the screen, however you feel fit. And before we go further, I just want all of you guys to download this extension so that you guys can follow along with me when we do the exercises. So just give me I'm just going to wait on this slide for a minute so you can do it. I also pasted the link on the general channel. So either you can go to the Chrome store and you can search AI Contextual, or you can click the browser extension link on the general channel in the Telegram Cosmos group. And yeah, just press add to Chrome. So let me know when you guys are done with it.
There is a lot of people. I'm in the process. Here is a contact flow extension. Yes, add to Chrome, add extension. Friends, don't forget to add extension. I already do it. Participants of the workshop also do it to increase the efficiency of the AI using. Yes, I see other people also write that they edit.
Okay, perfect. So I think now let's move forward. So first of all, what exactly is prompt engineering? So in the past 5 years, the internet is going through a very different kind of transformation. Before, whenever we had to like find some information online or find something, we used to go to search engines. So we used to go to Google or Bing or other search engines, and then we used to like write our questions or just some keywords, and we used to get answers. But now the transformation is happening in a different way. Now the search engines are being transformed into a conversational interface. So every time you need to find some information online, the behavior of the users is becoming different. So instead of going to Google, now they go to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever their favorite AI agent is, and they go there and they find information by asking questions as if they are talking to a normal human being, as if they're talking to a friend. So simple keyword search is being transformed into a conversational intelligence. And that is the shifting paradigm that we're all living in. Prompt engineering is essentially the art and science of crafting effective instructions for AI. So next time when we ask questions from AI as if it's a friend or as if it's somebody that you're talking to, there's actually a very specific way of how you can talk to AI so that the responses are more effective. And it's partially art and partially science. And as we go deeper into this workshop, we'll figure out like, why am I saying that it's partially art and partially science? We'll come back to this in a while. But why exactly is prompt engineering important? Why are we actually like spending a whole hour on this today? So you might have heard a lot about prompt engineering, that it's a next generation skill, or every engineer should know AI prompting, or every student should know how prompt engineering is done. And we're like seeing all of these um, like news articles and social media posts and all of this. But why exactly is it important? So it's important because LLMs, large language models, the technology behind these AI agents, they are predictive machines. They are not accurate machines, they are predictive machines. So let me give you an example. For people of you here who are maybe coming from coding backgrounds, before, when we used to do programming, it was deterministic. So let's say you wrote a program and the program was supposed to find the square root of 1 million. Now the program could keep running, even if it takes it 2 days, even if it takes it 3 days, the loop will not end until it finds the exact answer. That was the deterministic programming that we were all doing until now. These large language models, they're predictive machines. They're not deterministic. And in a way, they are lazy. Why do I say that they're lazy? They're lazy because when you give them a vague question, they will just go and find the first answer that kind of matches your vague question, and they will just spit out that answer right back at you. They'll not even bother to see if it's the best possible answer that they're providing you. They will just spit out the first matching answer that they will find. So you have to provide better inputs to get better outputs. If you put garbage inputs, you're going to get garbage outputs. The second thing is time and money. So if you ask AI a question and it gives you not the correct answer, then you ask them another question and then it gives, okay, a slightly better answer. Then you say, no, this is not what I meant. This is what I meant. So you're wasting time. And not only are you wasting time by these constant iterations, you're also wasting tokens because every single word that is costing you tokens. And right now, all of the AI subscriptions have a freemium limit that for every day. But if you like do it too much, then you're essentially also reducing the importance of you're also telling the importance of like the tokens that are being used would be reduced in the freemium version if you just keep it if you don't give it the right amount of information right in the first question. And this is an essential skill for AI powered world. At this point, I want to share the first keyword of the workshop with you, and this keyword is important for the quest, and that keyword is plurality. So people who are here and who are following the quests on Centrifuge Digital, the first keyword of the workshop is plurality. And with this, we go a little bit deeper into the workshop. So here I'm showing you two examples, left and right. The left one is example of a prompt, how most of us are talking to AI. So we are saying like, draft an email for my customers or please help me find this. But that is not the right way to do prompting. On the right side is a slightly better example, which says, write a 200-word email to potential customers explaining how our eco-friendly packaging reduces environment impact using a professional yet approachable tone. The left side is a bad example. The right side, the green one, is a good example. So now let's go into the details of what is making the left side bad and the right side good. Before we go into that, let's do the first exercise. So I'm going to show you. You can also follow if you downloaded the workshop materials from the link I provided before. You will also see these exercises that you can follow along. But I can also show you like how it works. So let's say we go to ChatGPT. If you have installed our extension before, you will see this small plurality icon here and also this drop down here. And if you have installed the extension for the first time, then you need to also log in. So if you press it here, it will open this. Yeah, exactly. It will open this. You need to log in. It will ask your email or you can also use your Gmail. So I'm just going to pause here for 1 minute so that all of you can follow along and you can like log into the system. So just give me a thumbs up when you have logged in.
I'm in the process of doing it, and I will do it not really slow. And download extension. Yes, we already do it. And after we click, we edit. We have improve prompts. We choose context. Go to plurality dashboard. Continue to dashboard and create new memory. Yes.
Yeah, you can pause it. You can pause it. You don't need to create memories right now. You can come back to ChatGPT now, and let's first see what does improve prompt actually mean. So I have a prompt here, and the prompt is write a short story about a robot discovering emotions. Just a short story. We tell this to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT creates some story, something. But then this is not the best way to write a prompt. So let's try to do another example where we take the same prompt, but we optimize it. And how do we optimize it? If you go on the extension and you press here optimize, or you can also just press simply Control plus I, you click it and it's going to take your prompt, whatever you have written, and it's going to optimize it based on the best state of the art techniques in prompt engineering that are available right now. So what exactly did it do? Instead of saying write a short story about a robot discovering emotions, it changed the prompt. And now what's it saying? You are a creative writing assistant specializing in short stories. Your primary task is to generate an engaging short story. The user wants a short story about this, and then it's adding some extra things like consider elements like the robot's initial state, specific emotions, things like that. So, and then it's also saying prioritize character development. So it's adding a lot of constraints and a lot of extra context to it. And now you can also do this experiment on your own later on. Now, when you will see that the story that it will give will be a lot more deeper with a lot better details as compared to the previous months. And why was this? Because as we discussed before, LLMs are predictive engines and they are lazy. So they do not want to give you the best answer. They want to give you the first answer that matches your prompt. So if you provide it with a better prompt, it will provide you with a better response. If you provide it with a garbage prompt, it's going to provide you a garbage answer. So this was the exercise 1, and here we just saw into a better prompt. But what exactly made that prompt better? So let's go into a little bit detail. What do you guys think? What makes a prompt good? Is it structure, or is it the context surrounding the task, or is it both? So essentially, both things are important. The structure of the prompt is also important, but the context surrounding that prompt is also important. Both of these things provided together makes a prompt good. And what actually makes a prompt good? There is a methodology for it. It's called the clear framework. Clear framework. So let's see what the clear framework says. Clear framework says that you need to clarify the task. A lot of people, when they're writing prompts, or when they're talking to AI agents, they're not even thinking in terms of prompts. They're just saying, the writing questions, say, write things like, help me do this, or draft me this, or can you get me information on this? So they are using very vague terminology. They're not using specific action verbs. So they're not defining exactly what they want. This is important. I'm going to show you on the next slide some examples of what action verbs are actually good for prompts. And then the second thing is, in the clear framework, limit the scope. You do not need to give AI an open field where they can just go and find whatever they find and give you the answer. You need to limit the scope. You need to set boundaries and constraints. So boundaries and constraints could be things like, I want a 200-word article. I want the article to, or I want the story to be finished in 5 minutes. I want this to be done in 1 hour. So you need to limit the scope and set the boundaries for the agent for it to perform better. Then examples. You need to show and not just tell. We will also see some examples of how to give examples. And then audience, who is this for? Are you doing this tasks for a 5-year-old, or are you doing this task for a PhD level person, or are you doing this task as a CEO, or are you doing this task for your sales team? Who is the audience? Because based on the audience, the output would be completely different. And then lastly, the result. How do you want the result to look like? So 5 tips for the clear framework. You need to clarify the task. You need to set boundaries. You need to give examples. You need to specify who is the audience, and you need to tell the agent how the output result should look like. These are some examples of clear, specific action verbs that work really well in prompts. So instead of saying, please help me do this, or draft an email for me, or can you please get me information on this, you have to say specific things like, analyze this document, create an Excel file, summarize this research paper, explain to me the concept of this, compare these two companies, or recommend me the best TV shows, something like this. But you need to really clarify the task. Then the "you are a power" statement. This is one of the most important techniques in prompt engineering. This one thing is going to improve your outputs by at least 50%. And the "you are a power" statement basically, so in the example that we did, the write a short story about a robot discovering emotions, when we optimize our prompt, what did it do? It started the prompt with "you are a creative story writer." So what it did was it assigned a role to AI. And why assigning the role to AI makes so much sense? It's because the AI has been trained on open internet data. So it has a lot of different kinds of information trained in the model. But then when you assign a role to the AI, what it does is that it goes and fetches information specific to that role. So it knows like, okay, this is the role or this is the persona that I have right now, and I need to perform this task as if I have the information according to this role. So you can do things like you are a marketing expert with 10 years of B2B experience, or you are a technical writer creating documentation, things like that. So now, again, we see two examples left and right. The red one is saying, please give me a LinkedIn post on AI prompt engineering. I've already told you, like, all these vague starters are not good, and you need to use the power statement. So on the right side, you see you are a LinkedIn post creation assistant. So we use the "you are" a power statement, and then we say write an engaging 200-word LinkedIn post on AI prompt engineering. Write is an action verb that is very specific. It's not please give me, it's write, very specific. And then 200-word, that's the constraint that you're putting in. So already we are getting better. Okay. Now coming to context, but before coming to context, I'd like to share the second keyword of the workshop. And the second keyword of the workshop is essentially workshop. So if you're doing the quest, you need to remember that the second keyword is workshop. Now coming back to the content.
Sorry, Hira, excuse me. The second word is workshop.
Yes.
Workshop.
Yes.
First word was plurality, and second word is workshop. All in the small case.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, now coming to context. So we said that there are two important things that make a prompt good. The first one is structure, and the second word is context. We already saw a few things about the structure. We saw the clear framework. We saw the "you are a power" statement, and now we are coming towards context. So context is the information surrounding a task. So, for example, let's say you're working in a company and your company's internal documentation is not a part of the AI training data. So, the AI only knows what's available on the public internet. It does not know what your internal company documentations are saying. Or maybe you have some specific requirements from your task that you need to provide along with the task. So you need to do the task, but you need to do it in a certain way. All of this is context. And the better context that you give to AI, the better answers you will get. Before we go deeper into the context engineering, I want to clarify three core concepts. The first one is prompt engineering. We already saw that prompt engineering is all about the structure or carefully designing the instructions so the model performs the task that you want. Context engineering, on the other hand, is the broader practice of getting the outside information in. So things that the model does not already know, but this is like external knowledge that you're bringing in so the model can perform your task in a much better way. And the third very interesting thing is in context learning. To understand what in context learning is, think about how a child learns from the environment. So let's say there is a family. That family has a mom and a dad and a child. And the child, what does the child see? The child sees that every day when the dad doesn't pick up the dishes from the table, the mom gets angry. And he sees it. And when he sees it, what he deduces from it is, okay, whenever the dad doesn't pick up the dishes, mom gets angry. This means that if I don't pick up my dishes, mom will get angry with me as well. So I need to pick up my dishes. And this is how a child learns in context. So this is an in-context learning. AI agents or LLMs have the same mechanism built in. So they can essentially learn also from the environment or from the context or from the examples that you give to them. We're also going to see a few examples about in-context learning in a couple of slides. What exactly, I told you like you need to give context along with your prompts or along with the tasks that you want the AI to do. But what is context? So context could be things like background information. It could be like, who are you creating it for? Let's say you're a marketing agency and your audience is, and you're doing social media posts for one brand, and that brand has an audience which is all Gen Z between 15 to 20 years of age people. So that would be the audience. What's the purpose? Why are we even doing this? What are the constraints? What are the environment? Everything is context. So normally when you think about, okay, I need to give context, the first instinct that people have is that, okay, let's just put in all the information I have. So if I have 10 PDF files, let's just put everything, let's just upload everything in ChatGPT, and then we write the task, and then boom, we get the best answers. So there's the art part that we talked about, that prompt engineering is partially art, partially science, because if you give LLMs all of the available data, it is going to have a problem which is called context rot. So it's not going to give you the best answers. You need to make sure that you're not giving too little context, and also you're not giving too much context, because in both cases, you will not be getting the most optimal results. So you need to give just the right amount of information. That's the context sweet spot. And that is why we say that context engineering is partially art and partially science. So some pitfalls that you need to take care of. The first one is the vague trap. The vague trap is when you say vague things like, write something good. What is good? Good is a very subjective term. You need to be specific. You need to say things like, write a compelling 3-sentence product description, blah, blah, blah. The second pitfall is information overload. Do not provide all the information you have for a simple task. If you give AI too much context, it is going to start hallucinating, and it's not going to give you the best answer. And then the third one is that you assume that the AI knows everything. AI knows the open internet data, but it does not know your specific situation, your internal information, anything like that. So you need to give this information as external context. So this is the last example of the prompt engineering, and then we go into some advanced techniques. So on the left side, you see a simple prompt. Please give me a LinkedIn post on prompt AI prompt engineering. On the right side, you see an improved prompt, which is, you are a LinkedIn post creation assistant. So the first thing that we did was we started with the power statement, the you are a power statement. Then we say, write an engaging 200-word LinkedIn post on AI prompt engineering. The write is an action verb, very specific, no vague terms here. 200-word is the limits or the constraints that we set. And then we start adding some context. Context is like, the brand guidelines require the tone to be professional, such that it's suitable for mid-level executives in a Fortune 500 company. So the mid-level executives in a Fortune 500 company, that's the audience. And the professional tone is the context. So this is like one example. So at this point, let's do another exercise, and that is, let's try the prompts with context. So let me show you a little bit about how can we do that. So you guys probably already logged into the to the dashboard. And now what we need to do is that you can go to the workshop drive link that I gave you, and there's a PDF here, needle in a haystack. Let's just download it. And we downloaded it. Now we go here, and what we can do is, like, you can create a new memory by clicking the plus button. And then once you do this, you can write some name of the memory. And then you can upload this file. So you can upload this needle in a haystack file here. and you just upload it. I already did it in this needle in a haystack. I just created it a little time before this workshop, so I'm just going to use that. But, just create a memory and upload this file. And now, let's say you go back to ChatGPT, you open a new chat, and you from here. So we already did the improve prompt, but what you can do from here is that you can have all these different contexts here. So these could be different projects that you're doing. These could be different aspects of your life. One of them could be like for your personal stuff. One of them could be for your work stuff. So however you want. And if you just use the just optimize it, it is just going to optimize your prompt. It is not going to add any context. But if you want to work in a certain context, then you can pick up a specific memory bucket. So this needle in a haystack has the PDF uploaded already. So it has that context. So whatever the information was available in that file. And now I just write here, what is needle in the haystack? So normally needle in the haystack is an English language idiom, which means that if you're trying to find one small needle in a large haystack, you will never be able to find it. So this is like an English language idiom. If I just ask ChatGPT this question, it's going to tell me that this is the English language medium, but that is not what we are looking for. We're actually looking to see what is the needle in the haystack test done on LLMs. So I'm going to optimize it. And when I press optimize, it's going to not only optimize this into a proper prompt, but it's also going to bring in the context from this file, this PDF file that we uploaded. Here you see it has added like this specific context, that the specific context is about large language models and retrieval augmented generation and all this information that I would never have been able to like write just like that. So, and now the information, the answer that it would provide me is in this context basically. So this is like one important thing. But what's the most interesting thing about this extension is that not only that you can have this context, but you can have the same context across multiple LLMs. So if I go to Claude now, and if on Claude, I see the same needle in the haystack. So if I ask about this needle in the haystack problem here, it's going to also optimize according to the context of the file here. Or if I go to, let's say, Grok, not this one, the one in X. Yeah, so if I go to Grok, I will have the same context. If I go to Perplexity, I will have the same context. So this is a portable context layer, an open context layer that travels between different LLMs. And not only can you like have these different documents and upload them, but the other interesting thing is that you can also like save conversations. So let's say I can also do like this. I can like go in so let's say I'm doing some AI memory research. I can save as new. So I can save this as a new context, and that chat will also be available on other chat agents. So it created a new context for me called AI memory. So if I go to Perplexity, I have that same context here as well. So the chat that I did on ChatGPT, I can continue it on Perplexity. And then maybe if I do some more research in Perplexity, I can save it again. And then I can continue it in Grok or then in Claude. So it's a portable memory layer that travels between all your favorite AI agents. Any questions or any remarks until here? Or otherwise we'll go forward in the workshop.
For now, I think is so incredible and cool that you just can move your conversation from AI to AI, and this is so helpful when you ask AI about something, and after the place is finished. You need to start a new dialogue, and you think, oh my God, it's a pain in the ass. Now I need to move all the context again. And this is just 2 clicks. Looks like this is already great advantage. But as I understand, functionality is even much bigger.
Yes, the bigger vision is like much bigger. We want to have this as a context layer that you can inject in any AI agent, any application, any variable that you're doing. So we are creating this open context layer where you have your context and you can move between agents, between applications, and you go everywhere with your entire data intact. So that's the bigger vision that we're working towards. Okay, so we're going to yeah.
As I remember, different model has different volume of context, different amount of tokens. Or
yes, okay, okay, that's a very good question. So yes, different models have different contexts, and those models, they think that you're going to have long conversations with them. So the context windows, we are going to talk about the context windows in like 5 minutes. But the context windows are basically the amount of conversation that you can have in a single chat without the model forgetting key details. Now we are doing something different. When we optimize a prompt here, we are not dependent on the previous whole conversation. We are bringing in just the right amount of context, and that consumes very little tokens. So we really save your tokens in that sense, that you do not have to do like large conversations and back and forth conversations to have your perfect answer. And what you can do is, for example, let's say you were doing a conversation and the conversation became too long, and now the AI model has started forgetting details because context is like a sliding window. What you can do is that stop at that point, save it as context, then open a new chat, select that same context, and continue the discussion again. You will get a lot better results. So when you write this the follow-up question here, just press optimize, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring in all the key facts about this follow-up question from your previous conversation that you stored in it. And for example, if your free token, if let's say you're on the free tier, or even if you're on the paid tier, let's say your tokens are consumed and you cannot talk to the agent anymore, or they have downgraded you to another agent, you can just save this conversation, open Claude, continue there. So you don't even need to buy subscriptions of different agents. You can just, keep working on the free tier.
It's optimize the context.
Yes.
The full context.
Yes, so these are different. Yes, exactly. These are different techniques. There's the AI memory frontier is a very active research area, and different companies are taking different approaches to it. So ChatGPT has these folders model, but that is also not the best one. And of course, you cannot take out the information from here and directly take it to Claude. And Gemini and Grok and Perplexity don't even have memory. So this is a very new frontier. What we are building is a portable memory layer that not only lets you take your context from one agent to another, but also saves your tokens and kind of gets you rid from these context window limitations. If you're like more interested in the topic, because I need to be mindful of the time as well, you have my Telegram, and I don't know if you're interested like going into the deep technical details, but if you are, I can share a few research papers. Okay, then just drop me a message on Telegram, and then I can share you the paper on whose findings we are basing our methodology. Okay, so going a bit further into the advanced prompting techniques. So I told you guys about the in-context learning, and how in-context learning is similar to how children learn from their environment. So one example of in-context learning is this example. So let's say I gave until now we have been talking about prompt engineering and giving like really specific action words like write or summarize or elaborate, things like that. So no vague stuff. But then here I'm going to contradict myself and show you an example where we can be vague and still get the LLM to perform the right task. And that is through examples. Examples trigger the in-context learning of the LLM. So here, what we are doing is we say, translate the following sentences. I like apples. And we give like one example, I like apples. And the answer is, me gustan las manzanas. This is a Spanish for I like apples. And then we give another question, I enjoy walking, but we don't give the answer. What's going to happen? Let's see. So I just copy paste this here. I go to Claude, let's say. I press this. And what it did was it translated the second question in Spanish as well. So we didn't explicitly ask it to translate the second question. We didn't ask it that you need to answer or translate it in Spanish. We never even took the name Spanish. But what it did was that it learned in context that, okay, the first question was in English and and it was translated to Spanish. The second question is in English. So that means that the deduction was that the answer should also be in Spanish. So this is in context learning. Now let's go see some more examples. And then some other techniques about in context learning are zero shot, one shot, and few shot prompting. Zero shot is when we give a prompt, but we don't give a proper example. We don't give any examples at all. So all the LinkedIn posts or creative story writing or all the prompts that we were seeing in the first half of the workshop were zero shot prompting. We were not giving any examples at all. The example with the English Spanish translation that we just saw, we only gave one specific example, only one example, and that was one shot prompting. So it was a very clear cut example. And the model could have learned from just one example. So we gave it just one example. That is one shot prompting. Few shot prompting is for more nuanced or more complicated scenarios. So let's say that there is an agent and you need that agent to know what is a positive review on your product and what is a negative review on your product. And then you give it a couple of examples. So you gave it, so for example, you said that the first example is great product, 10 on 10. And this is positive. Didn't work very well. This is negative. Super helpful, worth it. This is positive. And then you give a fourth example, it doesn't work. And then you don't give the answer. The output the model will deduce that, okay, this is a negative opinion. So it will give the response negative. So this was a little bit more nuanced scenario where the model had to learn that, okay, what does positive reviews means and what does negative reviews means. And that is why we had to give it few shot prompting. We had to give it a couple of examples. So this is an example of few shot prompting. You can have like a full prompt before this, and then you can add these as examples, and then the model will learn in context. Okay. The other advanced technique is chain of thought. Chain of thought technique is just think of it as a think step-by-step power phrase. So for example, let's say you're solving a mathematical problem. You can, if you say 15% tip on 4750, it's just going to give you the answer. But if you say solve this math problem step by step or think step by step, then what it's going to do is that it's going to show the entire step by step operations of what it's doing behind the scenes. This is one example. The chain of thought pattern is used essentially in 3 different scenarios. The first one is education. When you're a student and you're trying to learn something, you need to see the steps. So you can use the think step-by-step mechanism in the prompt. The second thing is when you are trying to see how a model is reasoning. Like, for example, you ask it vague questions like, should there be war in the world? Is socialism better or capitalism better? Things that have no clear answers, but they are like very vague philosophical kind of questions. There as well, you can use a think step by step, and you will see like how the AI is deducing results. I find this very interesting personally. that to see that how a machine is responding based on the training data. That's very interesting. And sometimes different AI ethics committees also use this think step by step power phrase to kind of have a look behind the scenes of has there been any bias that has been trained into the training data, yes or no, or if for example there is some bias, then uh, they can retrain it better. So if you want like more accurate answers and you need a visible reasoning process, then you can use this chain of thought pattern. And then we talk a little bit about AI memory. How much time do we have left? Okay, I think we can have like 5-10 minutes more and we can go into a little bit detail.
Honest, we can have even more than 1 hour. Not a problem if we will even. This is so interesting that if a workshop will take 1 hour with half or even 2 hours, it's okay because all you show to us is really great, and this is the best way to spend the time to learn something new.
Okay, perfect. Then I think we will cover it in like 10 more minutes. So we have time. So now we are talking about AI memory. So interesting thing is that we are talking about AI memory, but LLMs or the underlying technology behind AI has no memory at all. This is something that most people do not know, because when we go to ChatGPT and we're having this conversation with it, this back and forth conversation, it feels like it's remembering the past stuff. So let's say I go to ChatGPT, I say, "Hi, I'm Hira. I am trying to learn this," and then it gives me the answer, and then I say, "Okay, now let's learn about this." So it says, "Okay, Hira, now let's learn about this." So it is actually it feels like it is remembering stuff from the previous conversation as well. So how is that happening if the LLM has no memory? So this is a very creative workaround that AI engineers did. So what they do is that, let's say you wrote the first question and then it gave you the first answer. Then you wrote the second question. Now, when the call goes to LLM, it not only sends the first question, the first answer, and the second question. So every new question that you're asking, it's sending back the entire conversation history um, with each new question. And that is why if the conversation gets very long, it also starts becoming slower. So if you've ever done a ChatGPT conversation that's like very long, it's the agent becomes really slow, and it's because with each new question it's sending back the entire conversation history, and that is like really taking time to process then. And this is what's called a context window. A context window is like a sliding window, and this is like somebody in the group was talking about tokens and like how big the tokens are. So in order to give people this illusion that there is memory, now all the models are now competing on bigger context windows. So I don't know, Google Gemini has like 1 million tokens, somebody has 512k tokens, and like Llama models and Gemini models and Grok models, and all of these are like saying that we will make the context windows bigger and bigger. Because if you're having a conversation and the context window is then reached, then the model starts forgetting the most earliest conversation facts. So it's like a sliding window, and the most oldest facts start sliding out of the window. So the model starts forgetting it. So this is like the AI memory scenario. So what people do is that, this is something that I was also telling the lady that asked the question. What people do sometimes is that when they feel like their conversation is getting big and now they are going to reach the context window or hit the token limits, then what they do is they say, "Okay, summarize everything that we have talked about until now." The AI gives a summary. They copy paste that summary, they open a new chat, they paste that summary, and then they ask the follow-up question. This is one of the techniques. Or the other techniques is that they restate the key facts of the conversation, so that even if the key facts have been dropped off, or the oldest conversation facts are started like falling off the context window, then you restate them so that it's like more recent. But this is also something that I was trying to show you here, that what you can do is like you can have like a conversation, and you can just let's say if it's like a big conversation, you can just save it, open a new chat either on the same agent or a new agent, and you can load that context, write your follow-up question, press optimize, and then it's going to bring in all the details again. So this is how you can move past this. But essentially, it's also using similar techniques like summarizing and then taking it somewhere else, or restating key details, things like that. Then external context. So information that is not in AI's training data. We talked about that AI, the training data of AI is public internet. It has no information about private internet or the data that is behind login protected environments like your company internal documents, or even on some sites that have not allowed AI to scrape through them. So AI does not have everything that is on the internet. So if you need to provide AI with some external context, what you can do is that either you can copy paste it directly in the prompt. This is something that the extension is also doing. You can do the summarize and prompt option. If, for example, you want to summarize one conversation and take it to another, or you can simply upload files on ChatGPT. Let's say you upload the folders or the files that you upload to ChatGPT. That is also a way to give external context. Or, for example, when you went to our dashboard and you created these memory buckets and added the PDF inside it, that is also a way to give external context. The only difference is that if you add something in ChatGPT projects, you cannot take it out of ChatGPT. But if you do it in our dashboard, you can take it anywhere that you want. But these are all different ways of adding external context in the agents. And then there is a very special technique called retrieval augmented generation. Our extension is also using it. And what it does is there is a keyword. So the databases that are used for AI context is not the same as the one that we use in other systems. So for the people who are familiar with programming, normally we use databases like Postgres or MySQL or MariaDB, things like that. But the databases for AI is a completely different category. They are called vector embeddings. And vector embeddings work very differently as compared to normal SQL databases. And this RAG technique, essentially what it does is that whenever you upload context as files or even as text, it splits up everything and then it stores it in vector embeddings database. And then whenever you ask a query, and it what it does is that it tries to match the keywords with this vector embeddings, and it brings in the most essential, the most semantically similar data, because this is like language that we're talking about. It's not numbers that can be matched. So for example, fruit and apple, these are two things that are semantically similar. So if you're talking about fruits and your context has something about apples, then it should also come in the context, or come in the most relevant context, because these two things are related, even if the word is not exactly the same. So this semantic similarity, this is what vector embeddings do. And RAG is a technique that essentially helps you to bring in semantically similar context. So that is why, because there's language involved and language has different words that could mean the same thing but are not exactly the same word. That is why we cannot use simple MySQL or Postgres or databases like that. So that is a RAG technique. And did we already see this? Yes, we already saw this. So that is it. We're just going to do a quick recap, and then I'll be open for questions. So combining everything that we have talked about until now. So whenever you write a good prompt, remember that you need to assign the role. You are a power statement. Then you write a very clear instruction, and then if needed, you need to write examples and external context. So think about role, the task, the context, the audience, and the format. Or in other words, the clear framework. Clarify the task, limit or constrain the outputs, give examples, specify the audience, and tell how the result should look like. Specificity is your best friend. Do not go for vague inputs until or unless this is your intention to trigger the in-context learning. At that point, you can go for some vagueness, but with examples. Context is the bridge between AI's knowledge and your specific needs. You can iterate and improve. You don't need to go with the first prompt that you get. You can keep iterating, keep improving, and test and refine to see what works. That is it. Thank you. And with this, I'm going to end the workshop and also tell the last word of the quest, which is I need to see as well because I don't remember. Yes, the third word is cosmos. So the first word was plurality, second workshop, and third cosmos. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
If somebody have questions, friends, feel free to turn on microphone and ask questions. Maybe Greg also will have the questions. He always have very interesting economical questions. But maybe you can show, for example, some examples right now what how to use it in some purpose, just like an examples. Now we know all the structure of it, and now you can tell, oh, let's, I don't know, solve or find some question and move the context to show how to use it as the summary.
Yeah, why not? Does anybody in the group have questions, or we can experiment a bit more around the extension? However you like. This is your time because I'm done with the workshop material.
I'd like to see how it works with enabled logging. How it collect context, optimize context.
How it works with login? What do you mean?
Yes, logging enabled.
Login enabled, like with ChatGPT.
No,
I don't know.
I guess yes. I mean that request to ChatGPT and how it collects the context, how it optimized, because as I know, the context is system, role, and so on. And then we need to optimize it when the context is big enough. And I'm just curious to see.
Okay, you want to see, like, okay, so maybe I have some. So for example, this is like a context that I have, and I have 5 big PDFs that I uploaded in it. This is something that I've been using for my work. And yeah, so what it does is, like, for example, I add 5 different PDFs or 10 different PDFs. And then what it would do is that you just like press add. You can add text, you can add different files, you can add PDFs, text, JSON, whatever. And it will show you the summary of that PDF or file or text, whatever you uploaded. It will like to kind of like make you remember, okay, this is what I added, this is what I added. And if, for example, that is no longer what you want in your memory, then you can also just remove it. So this is something that you can do. And then let's say this is called sec IDP. I will sec IDP and I say, explain to me OAuth 2 mechanisms with the most recent research. I press Control plus I, which is like or maybe I didn't even need to do it because I'm trying to show you how you can add more context in it. No, because this is like not relevant to the context that I asked. So, okay. Tell me, explain OAuth 2 mechanisms, and then it's bringing in information from the internet. So let's say this was useful information and I think like I need to keep it in my context. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to save it, and then it saved it further. Now I go back and I see. So it shows that now I also have OAuth 2 explanation in my context. This is something that we have until now. Next month, what we are doing is we are going to have like a feature that's something we call as a highlight feature. So let's say I go to medium.com and I'm not signed in. Let's say I go to Reddit. And then I find something interesting. I read something, I don't know, in AI memory, Reddit, I find something very interesting. I just copy paste it. Let me open it. So I will just like, highlight it. And then there will be like a pop-up here that do you want to save it to your context? And then I can save it to my context. And then I can continue working on it on Perplexity, Grok, wherever. So it's like what we're trying to build is like this second brain. So something that goes with you wherever you go on the internet, on social media, when you're reading a research paper, when you're reading a blog, when you're on Reddit, and you can copy paste things, add to context, you can upload documents, you can save AI conversations, and you really kind of like build up these knowledge bases or these memory buckets. And then when you want to use this, you don't have to like manually re-enter everything. You can go to any agent, write something like the vague question that is coming to your mind. And then when you optimize it, it's going to bring in all the relevant stuff from all the huge amount of data that you have collected. It will bring in relevant stuff, and then it will you can then question the AI and press enter. It's going to give you the response, but the amount of tokens that you would have used will be a lot less as compared to if you would have entered all of this information manually. Was this the question that you asked, if I got it correctly?
No, it wasn't my question.
Okay.
When user asked LLM about something in context, I remember there is dialogue, there is cortege or something. So system role and user role. And after context optimizing, will it be stored as LLM answer and user answer? For example, I'm learning a new language, and I go through topics, this word, this part of language, and then optimize and try to solve some exercises.
Okay.
Will it work?
Okay, this is not optimized for learning right now. I understand. So you're trying to see that if it will help you fill out a specific PDF. It's not optimized for that. It will help you with figuring out what the PDF is asking, and it will help you to figure out questions. But it cannot follow this sequence that the question number 1 was this, and this is the question number 1's answer. This is the question number 2. This is the question number 2's answer. So let's say, for example, you have a workbook and you upload it, and then you go to ChatGPT and you say that this is, you say things like, let's say this AI memory is your workbook context, and you say things like, help me fill out this workbook. It will not do that. You will have to find the keyword. So let's say the workbook has questions. So you can say things like, find out the questions from the attached context and that are about translation from, let's say, from Russian to, I don't know, which language are you learning? English, maybe. And show me all the examples, something like this. Then it will be able to bring in the examples, but you need to give it some keywords like if you like ask about it too vaguely, help me fill out this workbook.
And my idea is LLM provide me exercise. I do these exercises. For example, Spanish preterito indefinido y perfecto. Once I learned both this part of language, and I need to move on. Will this tool
remember? Okay.
Yeah. So and for example, optimize context like learned this.
Yes, that's something that it can do. Okay, so you're trying to say, like, for example, you tell it, I'm trying to learn Spanish, be my teacher, something like this, and then you press optimize, and then
Then
this is like the
I add context, add examples, so on, and in the same dialogue, I want to proceed and
yes.
go through the whole course of language.
Yes, then it would. So you can like add context, and you would say that I am trying to learn this language. Ingest everything that I've provided to you in the context, and ask me questions from the beginner level and take me to the advanced level. So you need to give it some instructions, and then it will be able to pick the context that you have uploaded. But if you give it like, just say like, just add the bucket from here and say, I want to learn Spanish, then it will not be able to understand that you're trying to say that pick everything from the context, the PDFs that you have uploaded, and it will not be able to understand that you need to go from a beginner level to expert level, and it needs to ask you questions. So give it a few more instructions and then optimize, and then it will be able to pick it up.
Just one of them. Explain me this, for example, works, then provide me exercise, then I will do this exercise and correct.
Yes, exactly. And
another.
If you get stuck anywhere, you have my Telegram. Just send me a message. I will. We can jump on a call and do it together as well.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, this is something that somebody else also asked me. So if I'll show you. So there is this person who's
hi.
yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
hi. Hi POSTHUMAN. Hi Hira, Plurality Network. Hi all. My name is Dima Delay. I really enjoyed this call. I have already used your AI again, and it's very user friendly. In the context of language learning, it will be very helpful to beginner students. Yeah. And I wish Perplexity, thank you. I want to say I want to see you at the top of Mount Olympus in a few years. and yes, please check my latest quest on the centrifuga.
Really cool. Yeah, I have been to St. Petersburg, but I've never really gone in other areas. So yeah, maybe one day. St. Petersburg was really beautiful. Okay, so I was just saying that somebody else also, so this MCQs in endodontics, this was another user. She's a dentist, and this is her own book, and she wanted to like create, ask students to upload her book in this, and then learn from it as well. So we are getting a lot of queries in the education area. And if you like, for example, try it out. If you feel like it does not fulfill exactly what you were trying to do, just send me a message. We'll sit together with you, because this is also a use case that we are interested to see, like how our context engineering is performing in the space and whether we need to improve. So just try it out. If it doesn't fulfill what you need, I'll sit on a call with you, and we'll figure it out with our engineering team how to make it better.
Amazing. We will add the contact of Hira to the description of the video, and also you can see her username in the general topic of the Cosmos Ecosystem chat. If somebody have a question, this is the best time to ask it. Don't lose your chance to speak with the creator, co-founder of the Plurality.
Okay, let's
Володя,
go
можно
one by
попросить тебя
one. Yeah.
перевести программно вопрос?
Oh, yes, okay, I will translate. The question is, he was using this context, but not in English language, but in the Russian language, and he was trying to optimize it in the Russian language. And the question, is it possible to update the context and add new data, or not in English language, but in any other languages?
It has multi-language support. We added it recently.
Okay.
Did you already try it? Did you already try it? Because we added multi-language support last week, and this should work. But in any case, if there are any corner cases that you have found, again, just message me, tell me what you were looking for and what it didn't do. But it has language support.
He answers that, yeah, he tried just in one case and everything is works. And now he just was interested if he will upload the documents not in English language. And as he understands, the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. There was one other question, maybe from Elena.
Yes. Could you suggest some techniques for cases when I don't know what result I want to get and what context I need to describe for this result when I need task solved?
You mean to ask for the language learning?
No, just any task. If I need to do some task and I literally don't know what result I need to get and what context, just your advice. I want to
Okay.
hear tips and tricks
Okay.
if you have.
The context is something that is not something that I can tell you. It's really something about what you need to do. But if, for example, you get stuck in how to do it, or you don't know, like you can't really understand it, then if you go to the Chrome store, there is a demo video in there. The first, maybe I show you here. And so this first here, if you click on it, it's like the demo video that really shows you. So like, so you can like take a look at this demo video to figure out like how to do it. It has the same information that we covered in the workshop when I showed you how to create memory buckets and everything.
Yes, I watched the whole workshop.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I don't have any recommendations on. Or did you mean that you want to like understand much more how context engineering works?
No, as I understand, it was more about your advices how to better use context. Maybe as the person who are deep in it, you can tell. Or it's always good to add this and this. Or if you try to find an answer on the question that you want, better to add this and that.
Okay. Yeah, I understand now. Okay. Sorry, I didn't really understand what you meant earlier, but yeah. So it really depends on whether you're using multiple LLMs or you're using just ChatGPT. First things first. So for example, I when I have to find something really, like I just need to like find an answer, a quick answer, then I go to ChatGPT. But then if I have to really go deep in a code, like I'm working and I need to code something, or I need to write something, then I like Claude better. And then if I, for example, have to do a really detailed analysis on something, then I go to Perplexity or Gemini, because their deep research is much better than either ChatGPT or Claude. So I use different LLMs a lot. And because of this, for me, it made a lot of sense that I upload all my context in the dashboard. And as you can see, like I have dozens of different contexts, including career counseling in my family my fitness guide, music recommendations, autobiography, documentation. You see, I have like dozens of different contexts that I'm using. And then I just move between wherever I go. And sometimes like I really like Claude, but I don't want to buy subscription of Claude. So sometimes I start with Claude, but then when my token limits like they lock me out, then I move to another agent. So I also do this a lot. So that is why for me, I mean, I'm probably biased because it's my own product, but I feel like having this portability of context is super helpful. And currently, we are the only ones that are doing it. But if, for example, you're only using one agent, then you can also just add everything in these projects. That also works fine. So, for example, if you're using it for, do they have like a language learning? I think the homework one should work for you. If, for example, you're only using it for language, then you can create a project, language learning here, and then you can pick homework and then create project. And then it's going to, so this homework one has some optimizations already done. For example, the chain of thought technique that we saw, where it shows you like step by step. I think that's already pre-configured in this one. So this one can also like work for you, and you can add files here as well. So if you want just context within ChatGPT, this is fine. If you want context to move between agents, then we are the best ones out there. Okay, so I think we are 20 minutes over the workshop, so I'm going to stop taking questions at this point. Yeah, if you guys like test it out, have any more feedback, if you like the extension, please leave a nice review on the Chrome store. That would really help us. We are also going to do a product hunt launch in first week of November, so we need positive reviews and people who have used our product. And maybe like if you have any suggestions on how we can improve it, my Telegram is open. Just send me a message and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. So that was it from me.
Thank you very much, Hira. It was very interesting. Of course, we will give the best feedback and we will use it. Of course, I totally sure that somebody will write you and ask the questions. This is really great and interesting. Thank you for visiting us and sharing your great tool.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Hira.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I will advise to use this app, my friends.
Yeah, that would be really, really good. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Friends.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yes. It was Cosmos Ecosystem number 18. Learn to earn. Friends, don't forget to participate in the Learn to Earn quest and tasks about plurality. And very soon we will announce winners, but all those who will participate will get different prizes, NFT prizes, and not only. And of course, not only NFTs, but also PHMN. So, friends, see you soon. Keep on contact. Bye-bye.